Cody starts the show and he gets everyone to cheer for Pat McAfee and Michael Cole and brings up Pat McAfee's interview with Roman Reigns, who was soundly booed. And he said, this city, or Roman has said that I'm a politician who can't keep his promises, but this city of all cities know that when I make a bet, I keep it and make it happen. And he said that he starts mentioning what he has done for certain fans. He's going to be the best man at Anthony's wedding, gives a shout out to the wrestling club who he's bringing out to WrestleMania. And he clarifies both nights. He's not going to bring him to Philadelphia and only let him go to night one. And then says, I dress the part and I pretend to be the champion because the champion isn't here. Burn, Seth.
Okay. Well, he's not wearing flashy suit, bell bottoms and, big glasses or platform boots. So, I mean, Seth dresses as the champion in a different way. But I mean, Cody has never really, to my knowledge, given much of an explanation for why he started to all of a sudden wear suits at some point during his independent wrestling run. And this was, I think, as good of an answer as maybe we could have expected. I don't think he was dressing like a champion because the champion wasn't there, like back when he was in like Ring of Honor or something like that. But it works for this current storyline.
He said that he hates Roman's guts, and he stood in the way of Roman Reigns and The Rock having their wank fest at WrestleMania, which was going to be the tagline for this year's Mania. And says he asks the fans to ride with him and fight with him at WrestleMania. And then sometimes you reach a level of popularity where your confidence is through the roof and you feel, you know what, I can get this audience to join me in anything. And that is what we saw here as Cody asked the fans, 15,000 of them, to point together at the WrestleMania sign.
Yeah. And he preceded it, interestingly enough, with a Too Sweet that he kissed, and then the Bullet Club guns. Now
that's right. Yes,
he did, of course, reference the Bullet Club in his promo on Friday. Are we to look any deeper into that? The fact that he continues to reference the Bullet Club even more than this one-off.
If Cody's riding a great formula at the moment, adding the Bullet Club to this, not necessary in 2024.
I guess I just question
as far away from these references as possible.
I suppose I guess I just question why even the hand gestures tonight.
Maybe he's looking for a hand gesture for his fans to engage in.
I think Too Sweet's been taken. Same with the guns, but all right.
So as everyone in this audience is pointing to the WrestleMania sign, The Rock's music plays, and this crowd goes nuts as Rock comes out. And I think this was an hour of him walking to the ring, standing in the ring, staring at Cody. Cody stares at The Rock. The Rock stares at Cody. Cody stares back at The Rock. They start chanting CM Punk after a while. And then Rock walks up to him, leans in, and whispers to Cody. And we're all left to believe, what has he whispered? And the crowd, when they realize this guy is not going to talk, they all chant Rocky sucks. And Cody is just left to process what he is being told here.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out he leaned in and said, the no blood policy, it's off.
I thought this was a hell of a surprise. I mean, I don't know how many people were aware of this online. I guess I wasn't online enough to be able to tell one way or another. But I think what threw me off was the fact that he, over the past couple of days, kept promoting the April the 1st Brooklyn on sale.
Yeah.
And it's not like
this one was sold out. They didn't need to promote this.
You're right. Absolutely. But the fact that he on his own social media was promoting this, Brooklyn show so hard gave you the impression that was going to be his first Raw appearance, his first Monday appearance. So the fact that he showed up as a surprise unannounced tonight was a legitimate
penultimate Raw before WrestleMania. I mean,
yes, of course. So yeah, it was a legitimate surprise to me, and it made for I think an incredible atmosphere. I mean, as much as you and I might kid about how long these pauses are, they are grateful.
They had this crowd. I mean, they're
grateful for every second this man appears on their screen. And I think those ratings were reflected on Tuesday.
So comparing it to our discussion when you had Mercedes Moné debut, and then the idea of, if they should have made a big deal about the fact that she would be coming back at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're going to do a massive angle at the end of Raw. I'm really curious because this, you are like anyone that is a regular viewer, you're kind of educated to think that, okay, The Rock did his bit and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this is one where I don't know if this is really. But that said, that final segment was long enough that I'm curious if there's like any growth over it. It's not like it was just he showed up for 60 seconds. It was a very long beatdown.
It was, yeah. It's also the type of thing where, I mean, could you have really teased The Rock was going to be there at the end, for like what was a surprise sort of attack? I mean, I think for business, you definitely could find a way, but maybe also part of me feels like this is Dwayne wanting to surprise, wanting to, to like maybe sacrifice whatever ratings you would have earned for the sake of like the pop.
And there were 8 minutes left of Raw. So, I mean, God knows what was left to be planned here. So we cut to the back, and there's Cody fighting with Jimmy when Solo Sikoa appears, and then The Rock jumps Cody. Just jumps him from behind with what had to have been the world's strongest forearm to the back because Cody was destroyed from this forearm. And man, there are a few baby faces that can get away with this long selling. It was prolonged. This man was beaten and beaten and beaten and beaten and beaten.
See, for me, it worked because it was such a novelty to see The Rock get physical. We haven't seen that yet.
What did you, dude? The Rock was moving around like very gingerly. Okay,
Yes,
like this guy was not exerting any strenuous activity here, and this was all Cody flying backstage for him at every strike, as The Rock, I think, just wanted to stay in one piece.
Well, I mean, at that age, with as big of a payday as he's about to get for the big show, and as reliant as people are going to be on him,
I think he's got a lot bigger paydays than Mania coming his way.
Fine, yes, but could you blame him for taking it easy? Now,
but it does make us look at like WrestleMania. Like this guy's got to do a big, like 25, 30-minute match, even in a tag scenario. And I mean, it is a question that we are going into. Like this guy's not had a real match in 11 years.
I think even in the tag match, I mean, it offers opportunity for him to work a style like this. But I also think there's a storyline reason. He's a much bigger man now than he was the last time we even saw him.
He's a big man.
And I think it kind of serves his final boss character well to work more like a heavy, big man, who works slow, who, one big clubbing forearm is enough to like knock somebody down. Like it works for this character right now. Plus, he had to like deliver like, I don't know, like 2 pages of dialogue in this entire scene.
Well, I mean, if this is, I mean, we have talked about the directing of one leaf fitting. This was like the most egregious. Let's all stop and get a perfect shot of our brand new vodka sponsor here on this bus as The Rock delivered dialogue into the camera. I mean, this could not have been positioned any more perfectly for them. And then they go out into the goddamn rain. Okay.
It was like The Notebook.
I didn't think Reigns was showing up on this show, but it turns out made a cameo here. And they fought out in the rain. Forget tearing something in this brawl. They could have caught pneumonia out here in the Chicago winter. So he just destroys Cody. He's talking into the camera, busts open Cody. So we got blood. And then Rock reveals his Mama Rhodes weightlifting belt. And he delivers on his promise, wiping Cody's blood over the weightlifting belt. They're getting close-ups of the wound. He's rubbing the blood right on his hand. And I mean, this is a pretty intense angle by WWE standards of how squeamish they have been with blood. And I mean, going close up, like, I really thought Rock was excellent here in this. And I mean, Cody was, again, like this guy was just a ping pong ball for like the last 8 minutes of Raw.
It's a great build to what will not be the main event of WrestleMania this year. I mean, again, Roman, who like he's all but an afterthought in all of this, and maybe it's being done to serve some sort of bigger story between The Rock and Roman. But man, you look at the difference between a segment like this and what we got on Friday, and it's just there's no comparison. Dwayne has really kind of carried at least the heel side of things in this entire program. Cody has been tremendous as well. I don't think you can ask for a better babyface. It's just kind of, a shame that like the person wrestling on night 2, the person who's holding actually this entire championship is the person that we are like spending no time to think about even. So this was a great segment here. Like reminded me of like, your great Attitude Era segments where the last 10 minutes of the show are spent, on a bridge or like outside of the arena doing some sort of crazy, I don't know, rain soaked, blood soaked, all the fluids soaked type of closing angle. And The Rock was just really, really tremendous here.
It didn't have to be this way, but now it's the only way. And dude, maybe the most egregious heel tactic of this year was Rock just spitting like this big loogie, like right next to Cody's face.
All the fluids,
gross,
like I said.
Just gross. And that's how the show ended. So, I mean, the show was bookended by The Rock and Cody. And I guess what he whispered into him was, what did he whisper into him?
Leave a comment below.
That was it. That is exactly what Dwayne Johnson was uttering to him. And we go to super chats and to your feedback.
Just looking at like this build though, I mean, there's no way that I don't think The Rock is involved in some way in that night 2 main event.
Oh, I think you're getting definitely. I think that's the point. And I think that you want to come off of Mania. At least the way I would be looking at it is that Cody and The Rock is the match coming out of Mania at a date to be determined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And for that reason, like if you have Rock win on night 1 and there's a purpose to it, then great.
Yeah.
You have a huge match for your champion to build towards.
Mm-hmm.